Hey rich girls, Kirby here. Ever wonder how top income earners, celebrities, business moguls, and millionaires are able to pay so little in taxes? Today I'm taking you through charitable accounts, aka donor advised funds, and how you may be able to use them to your advantage. This is Rich Girl's Guide, where we demystify the world of personal finance to help you create a financially successful and fulfilling life. I'm your host, Kirby Delicano, and I worked in wealth management for over 6 years before leaving the office to focus on my business and my family. Today we are discussing charitable accounts. What they are, how you can use them, did you know you can invest into the stock market within them? All while getting a nice tax write-off. The old way of whipping out your checkbook and writing a check on the spot to a charitable organization is already starting to become a thing of the past. And I think that within the next 10 to 15 years, that practice will pretty much be completely gone. But that's not to say that those same organizations won't be receiving contributions, most likely even larger ones over time than they are receiving now. So what are these charitable accounts and how do they work? Now, I know most of you already know how charitable contributions work, but for those who need a quick refresher, if you make a $500 donation to the Red Cross, they will send you a letter at the end of the year thanking you for your tax-deductible contribution. You can then include that letter with your tax return, and depending on your income and the tax laws for that year, you may be able to deduct a portion or all of that contribution, in this case $500, from your taxable income. When you deduct money from your taxable income, it does not mean that you are paying $500 less in taxes. If your effective tax rate is 15% and you get to deduct the full $500 from your taxable income, then you are going to pay roughly $75 less in taxes. In the case of a donor advised fund, instead of handing money directly to a charity, you are handing money to a middleman, a financial institution in this case, and they hand you a taxable write-off in the year you funded the donor advised fund. Normally, utilizing a middleman means less money going to the final recipient. In this case, however, I beg to differ. Depending on your income situation, how much you like to donate every year, and how long you anticipate making donations, you very well may be able to give more to charities over time, all by utilizing a donor advised fund. Real quick, I wanted to pop in and say thank you for tuning in. If you are enjoying this episode, please consider going to my YouTube and hitting that subscribe button. I just surpassed 100 subscribers, which I am so thankful for, and it is helping me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by our 1-year anniversary. So thank you so much, and let's get back to the episode. So who does a donor advised fund make the most sense for? While anyone can open a donor advised fund, it generally makes the most sense for people who are going to make large donations in certain years and want to spread out their donations over time. This typically applies to those who will have an extremely high taxable year. This could be due to selling a house that has a large taxable gain, those who may receive large one-time bonuses, or someone who retires and gets a large stock payout as part of their retirement package. The housing market has been a huge topic of conversation lately, so let's use the selling a house for a large taxable gain example. Baby boomers are notoriously staying in their homes longer, partially due to higher home prices and partially due to large gains in their home. If you are a married couple and you purchased a home 20 years ago for $100,000 and that same home is now worth $1 million, if you live in Northern Virginia or Austin, Texas, this might actually be a real example. You are looking at a gain of $900,000 if you sell your home. Now, you do get to exclude $500,000 worth of capital gains under the IRS rules, as long as it is a primary residence and you have lived in the home for the past 2 out of 5 years. However, that still leaves $400,000 in gains that can be taxed at the capital gains rate of 15%. So you are looking at a $60,000 tax bill on the sale of your home. If you opt to fund your donor advised fund with a portion of your earnings from the sale of your home, you can decrease that $60,000 tax bill potentially down to only $36,000. Again, this same example applies to any kind of a large taxable one-off event. It does not have to be the sale of a home. Let's go over the pros of utilizing a donor advised fund in this way. First and foremost, you can receive a large one-time tax write-off while spreading your donations out over time. Let's say, for example, you had a one-off high income year. Your total taxable income comes out to $300,000 and you end up owing $60,000 in federal taxes. For tax years 2023 and 2024, you can deduct charitable contributions up to 60% of your taxable income. AKA, if you donate $180,000 to charity, you can deduct $180,000 from your taxable income, bringing your taxable income down to only $120,000. And your federal taxes now go down from $60,000 to under $40,000. Now, obviously that is a pretty extreme example. However, if you have to pay $60,000 in taxes anyway, why not donate like $30,000 to charity and bring your federal tax bill down closer to $50,000? Now, these are completely made up dollar amounts. I would highly suggest working with a CPA because they will tell you the exact dollar amount that makes the most sense to donate in a given year based on how much cash you actually have, how much you want to give, and how much of a write-off you will receive. Speaking of working with professionals, here is a pro about donor advised funds that involves working with a financial advisor. You do not have to donate cash. You can donate stocks and securities to a donor advised fund. While this is yet another way that the rich are able to avoid paying taxes, I do think that more charitable donations are made over time because of this specific rule. Let's piggyback off of our previous example. You have $300,000 of taxable income in a given year and a $60,000 tax bill, and you only have $20,000 saved at the bank to pay your taxes. However, you also have a taxable investment account that has $100,000 worth of stock. If you have any stock in that account that has a taxable gain, the higher the gain, the better. You can donate that stock to your donor advised fund and avoid the taxes on selling that stock. When you donate any security to a charitable organization or a donor advised fund, that taxable consequence is transferred to the charitable organization. However, since they are a 501(c), meaning they will not owe any tax on that gain, they can sell that stock and keep the entire profit. The same thing happens with a donor advised fund. Let's say you have $30,000 worth of stock in your investment account that was purchased at a super low price, $1 a share, and the stock has increased significantly, up to $30 a share, leaving you with a taxable gain of $29,000. You are not willing to sell the stock because as soon as you sell it, you will owe tax, but you also don't anticipate the stock increasing in value. You can donate that $30,000 worth of stock to your donor advised fund, pay $0 in taxes on the sale of that stock, since again, you did not sell it within your investment account. It was sold by the financial institution that holds your donor advised fund, which is a registered 501(c). And you decrease your tax bill by roughly $7,500. Now, you still have to come up with the rest of the cash for your tax bill, but now your tax bill is lower and you have front-loaded your donor advised fund, meaning you'll be able to make charitable donations for years to come. Another pro is that you can invest the cash within your donor advised fund into the stock market. Now, depending on the size of your account and what financial institution you choose, there may only be a small number of investment choices. But there will be choices to correspond with your risk tolerance, meaning you can choose to hold on to a cash alternative or invest closer along the S&P 500 index. Finally, you can name beneficiaries on your account. Now, obviously, they will not get any kind of taxable write-off. Remember, you only get a write-off in the year you make a contribution. But your beneficiary now has the ability to keep this charitable account going. Now, I have seen this go one of two ways, and honestly, I think both are really great options. First, I have seen beneficiaries essentially close out the account as soon as they receive ownership. Let's say, for example, the account owner was a mom in her 70s and she had a deep love for animals. She passed and her daughter was listed as the beneficiary. As soon as the ownership transfers to the daughter, she donated the entire account balance, let's call it $50,000, to her local SPCA in the name of her mom. That is a wonderful way to honor her mom and her love of animals, and with such a large donation, the SPCA might be able to take in more animals or receive better medical care for the next few years. The other way I have seen this used is the daughter takes ownership and she keeps the account open and active. She might make her own contributions to the account every year and give out annual donations to the SPCA instead of just a one-time donation. Let's say she contributes $500 to the account every year and gives out $5,000 in donations annually. If the account balance started at $50,000, she invested the entire balance into a moderately risky mutual fund within the donor advised fund and received an average annual return of 8%. The daughter would be able to donate $5,000 annually for 23 years before running out of money, totaling over $110,000 in donations over that time period. If she decreased her annual donation to $4,000, she would be able to keep the account open and funded indefinitely, potentially leaving the account to pass on to her beneficiaries. While the organization might not get as much upfront assistance as they would with that one-time $50,000 donation, a reliable annual donation over a long period of time can be extremely beneficial for these kinds of nonprofits. Now that we have identified the kinds of people and situations a donor advised fund makes the most sense for, let's go over who may want to avoid a donor advised fund. If you have a job that has predictable, steady income and you are not anticipating any kind of out of the ordinary tax years, you may not want to fund a donor advised fund. Even if you make charitable donations every year, let's say you try to donate at least $500 annually, you are not necessarily going to roll over any extra cash from one year to the next. You are either going to donate it or not. If there's an extra $100 to give, awesome. And if you only have $300 to give one year, that's the donation you're giving. If this sounds like you, then a donor advised fund is probably not the best way to go. Unless you are investing that cash and growing your account over time, or you are able to make a large one-time contribution, giving money directly to the organization you want to give to will probably be the quickest and easiest option. Now, this part is really important. If you are wanting to give money to a charitable organization from your donor advised fund, you have to make sure they are registered as a 501(c)(3). This is basically the government's stamp of approval saying, yes, this is a charitable organization and you are legally allowed to deduct the contributions you made to this organization on your taxes. If for some reason the charity you are looking to give to is not registered as a 501(c)(3), you are not going to be able to send them money from your charitable account to the organization. This status is usually listed on the organization's website and usually plastered all over their marketing material because they know that is a huge selling point for receiving donations. Now, there's nothing saying you can't donate your own money that is not affiliated with your charitable account. Just keep in mind that contribution cannot be deducted from your taxes. Now, I know at first glance this seems like unnecessary red tape, but it is actually there to protect legitimate charitable organizations. If any Joe Schmo could just say that he donated to a charity that he ran, but the charity was actually just like a piggy bank and he plans to blow it in Atlantic City, then the whole point of making charitable donations more enticing is completely lost. It is not expensive or hard to get the 501(c) status, as long as you are actually a charitable organization. All right, guys, I think that just about covers donor advised funds and charitable donations. Please let me know your thoughts and whether or not this is the first time you have heard of these kinds of accounts. If you plan on utilizing one in the future, definitely drop a comment below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will have a brand new YouTube video up on Thursday and another episode on Monday. Till then, keep it rich. Later, rich girls.